welcome back to D&D's Garage. It's been quite a while since we did a video. First off, I'd like to take the opportunity to give a special thank you to the 29 views of our last video. We seem to be going the opposite direction than what we were hoping to, so maybe this video will be a little bit more entertaining. We're going to be doing custom kick panels for speakers in our classic 68 Dodge Dart, and a friend of mine who was really successful in AV, oh my god, how about car sound, like car audio, did custom stereo installs, and I think won a bunch of awards. Gave me some tips and tricks because I wanted to create like an angled kick panel and do something that I could actually build myself. So we've got some pictures because time's been really tight of cutting the MDF rings that the speaker will mount into, and cutting the kick panels. I started out with a hole saw, and then I measured on the kick panels, and I was really lucky, picked up a smoking deal on a plastic cutting hot knife, and so I used that to finish it off. So we'll insert the pictures so that you can see those, see the kick panels with the holes cut in them, you can see the MDF rings, and then we'll unwrap one of these guys once we start working so that you can see how we used all-round strapping to create the angle for the rings. So now we're a little short for space, so sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. So our car is going to be our workbench, but because we're going to be working with fiberglass resin, and this sweatshirt material is going to act as our fabric instead of using fiberglass, so that's a pro tip from my friend. We want to protect our car, even though this is a rusty old car. We still don't want to make any more work for ourselves. So we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to prepare the back of the car as our workbench, and then we'll come right back and show you how we're going to do these kick panels. Okay, so we're back. So honestly, all we did was clean all the junk off the car. I had a big tarp that we use for like large dump runs or things like that. So we just folded it up, put it on the back of the car. Still put some paper down as well because I plan to use a tarp later on. So what I wanted to do was show you guys how the back of this looks. So this one here is just about ready, I think, for us to do fiberglass. This one's not quite. I was just kind of setting things up. And honestly, I'm still figuring things out for myself. So don't look at this like a tutorial. Look at this like some dumbass who's showing you his failures on the internet. Okay, so again, really good tips from my friend Cynthia, who like I said, was a car audio specialist. And so one of the things was just to use a simple all-round like this, and I put some washers in just to give it some stability. It's actually like really stable, and then I just screwed in from the back side here, spaced it up. I test fit the speaker to make sure that it would fit and clear nicely inside here, and it did a really good job. So yeah, and Cynthia told me to actually redo these properly with a router and make them perfectly round, because they'll look like crap if I don't do that. And guess who did not do that? Because I'm too lazy and I just want to get this done and get some speakers into the car. Anyways, so what we'll do is we'll take a quick break, and I'm going to come back and I'll just finish clamping the other kick panel here, and I'm just going to rewrap this back up, and then I guess we'll get ready to apply some epoxy resin or some fiberglass resin and see what the heck happens. Welcome back. Okay. So remember when I said I was going to use the other kick panel to start with?
I lied.
Anyways, I thought it would be better for you guys if you didn't have to watch me figuring out how to measure out 2 ounces. So we're going to start with about 4 ounces of fiberglass resin. And bear in mind, I have no idea what I'm doing. I've done fiberglass before in the past, but not this type of an application. And there's some like cool pro tips that my friend Cynthia gave me, and we're going to try it and see if I don't fail miserably. Victor's just going to pour that into the cup. So this is just the resin with no hardener. Go ahead. And then I'm going to go ahead and read how much hardener we need for the resin. So it says that we want to mix small amounts of resin. We want to mix 10 drops of hardener per 29.6 milliliters, or 1 ounce of resin. So we've got 4 ounces of resin, so we're going to need 40 drops of hardener essentially. That should be fun to try and mix that accurately. So So there's our hardener right now. Okay, Vic, you done with the resin? Let's go put that on the counter. Or, yeah, just find a spot. It's fine. It's a mess. Everybody knows. If anybody's actually watching our YouTube channel, they have no doubt that we're a mess. So the pro tip that Cynthia gave me was to do some Bondo. I'm going to do, I think, just maybe one coat of fiberglass resin alone. And if things look like it's going okay, then we're going to quickly scoop in some Bondo and mix it, and that'll give us a nice sandable surface. That's the pro tip, is that that'll give us a sandable surface that's not just sanding fiberglass resin. Okay, so here we go. So go nothing because I didn't open the tube somehow. That's super. Oh yeah. Definitely didn't open the tube. We're good. We'll just go ahead and open that on camera, no pressure. I always figure if you haven't done something before, make sure there's added pressure of doing it on camera.
Ooh, that looks good. Looks like a bit like honey.
Okay, I think that's about 40-ish. And again, everything's ish here. Okay, Vic, do you want to mark? Here's the mixing stick. Can you get it with one hand? Okay, and then we just got a Dollarama paintbrush that we're going to use. And we're just going to give it a whirl. You guys, it smells good, right? It smells like all of the chemicals.
No, it smells like honey and then a lot of chemicals. Like,
Okay,
it keeps
perfect.
giving me a sweet smell.
Yeah, so basically, Cynthia said we should mix it kind of hot and then do the Bondo. I think I mixed it pretty much on. I tried to keep as close a track of that as I could. I don't feel any heat out of the cup yet, so I'm just going to keep stirring until I start to feel a little bit of temperature change. Fiberglass resin is a catalytic product, so when a friend says, like, you know, mixing it hot, that's worked with it before, they mean that you'll actually feel some heat from it, or that that'll cure really fast. So I don't know, I don't feel a lot of temperature, so I'm going to do the total dumb beginner thing. Throw a few more drops in there, because why not? And let's give her a whirl. And let's also hope that I use the right hardener. Yeah, liquid hardener should be the stuff. Okay, so we just want to mix it really well to make sure that we get the catalytic reaction started and all the polymer chains starting to form really tightly. And I'm just going to do that. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of brushing. Victor, do you want to do some too? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I'm just going to do a little bit. So basically, the pro tip here is using the cloth. So you don't have to, again, deal with itchy fiberglass cloth, I presume. And again, guys, mostly I'm extrapolating, so I can bring back some more details, or I can put something in the comments from my friend Cynthia, who, like I said, is way more knowledgeable about this stuff than I am. So I'm just going to, Vic, I'm going to do the parts where I think it might need a bit of finessing and not put too much pressure on you, because we're going to see this part when this is mounted in the car, and hopefully I'll be posting some pictures on the D&D's Garage Instagram. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. I actually was toying with the idea of having that done or not. Okay, you obviously want to do some resin. So just go ahead and brush this on here. As soon as it starts dragging the cloth, Vic, then you'll want to...
Let's just get this thing.
Okay,
sorry, guys, for the...
That's
okay.
okay. So as soon as it starts dragging the cloth, you want to get more resin on the brush. Okay, so go ahead and hold the workpiece with your left hand. Yeah, so right, you can do it right here. Yeah, keep going. It's okay. It's all right. Wasn't paying attention to the camera. So yeah. So don't do the whole ring, but just do the cloth. There you go. So you see how it's kind of dragging the brush. So get it wet again. Hopefully 4 ounces is enough to get the first coat. So what I was thinking is we'll do the first coat just with the resin, and then I'll see if it starts to cure pretty good, and then I'll do a second coat where I add the polyester body filler to it, and we'll go from there.
Some right here.
Yeah, so basically you just want to see that it's kind of shiny wherever the cloth is, Vic. Okay, and then we've got a little bit of time before it cures to kind of go after some of the wrinkles and make that a little bit easier. It's not too bad as long as they haven't risen too much, because I'm probably just going to fill it with body filler. That's also the other pro tips that I've picked up on is when it doesn't look perfect, fill it with body filler and sand it smooth, which is kind of like how I do my welding. Like I always joke that I'm more of a grinder than a welder. I'd say that's probably going to be the same thing here with my fiberglass work with these kick panels. Okay, Vic, do you want to let me jump back in there?
Yeah.
And then we might take a quick break and assess how well things are hardening.
Let me just.
Okay, you can take your gloves off. Okay. So literally, guys, watching fiberglass resin dry. Just
all right.
Okay, got it. Your hand's right over the camera, so that's
sorry
perfect.
about that, guys.
That's Academy Award-winning camera. You're gonna get the Oscar for for your cinematography. Oh, we're just a couple of dudes in our garage trying shit we've never done before, and what the hell, right? Let's give it a whirl. This is how you learn, and it's cool that I have friends who know what to do, and then still will probably talk to me after I don't take their advice. So I'm pretty fortunate that way. So, but I think this is shaping up to be kind of good. I'm just gonna see if I can put a little stretch on this. In a way, this is tricky shit, especially since I did what I'm sure is going to be seen as gauche by younger folks and wanted to have the angled speakers. It's a Gen X thing, guys. Leave me alone. So we like the old angled speakers and the kick panels, and you know what the hell? I'm building it myself, so if I don't like it, I can always redo it afterwards. So, like I said, this isn't a tutorial. This is just an adventure. So hopefully you're along in the spirit that we're doing. This is just along for the ride of like just seeing if some dumbasses in a garage in Edmonton, Alberta can successfully make something halfway decent looking for their old car, and having never done any of this stuff before. So I'm pretty happy with that. I feel like 4 ounces. Yeah, I mean, maybe we could have done 5, I guess. I'm just scraping the bottom of the bucket. You can start to feel a tiny bit of warmth too, by the way. So it is going off right now. FYI, that's the Bondo, Vic. We're gonna mix that into the next batch. We just got to see if this sets up nice. I definitely want to let this firm up, and then I'd like to cut the center of the speaker hole out and fold those fibers in behind and get them stapled, maybe. So let's get this. This is done, and so I think we'll pause. Yeah, that's our speaker that's going to go in here. So we'll pause. We'll let that set. I'm going to probably mix up some fiberglass and do the other kick panel off camera. Because, again, it's a little bit like watching a monkey fuck a football for you guys. And I don't want it to be too boring. I want it to be a little bit more entertaining. So we'll let that go off. We'll mix up some resin, do the other one. And then when we come back, we'll see if we can do another coat where we mix in the body filler and take advantage of that being a nicer sandable surface. And I don't know, God willing, everything goes okay. We'll cut the centers out, and we'll maybe fold them underneath and staple them back, or we'll see if the resin will hold everything in place and soak into the MDF a little bit. And yeah, and then we'll just spray them with the usual interior paint, which I can't remember the name of right now, Duplicolor interior paint, and check them in the car and get some speakers in. We already have rear speakers in, so we actually have the Android stereo in here, and my daughter Yvonne was watching YouTube, hanging out here last week with me as I changed the O2 sensor, and great kid, just wanted to hang out and spend some time with me, which was really cool. Sat there watching YouTube without volume, and I'm like, okay, I think it's probably time to wire the car. So I actually pulled the rest back of the entire back seat out and all the back interior out, ran speaker wire up to the stereo, and then installed speakers under the back dash. And it's really cool. For whatever reason, we lucked out with this car that it has the original package tray in it that actually has the holes for the speakers on both sides. So that's kind of rare from the 70s cars that I have had. They usually don't have both speakers in the back, and you're usually trying to cut it in and make it look nice. So anyways, okay, we'll take a break, and we'll mix up some more fiberglass and fiberglass resin and do the other panel. Okay, talk to you again. There we go. We locked the iPad, and by we I mean me. Okay, Vicky, I'm trying to put it over there, but you're not letting me see.
Sorry.
There we go. Look through the iPad, bro. Okay, there we go. Okay, mix it up. Is it starting to get warm? No.
It's still cold.
Still cold. Okay, just keep mixing it. Do you want me to mix it next?
Nah, how about I put this down so you can actually.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Put better.
So you can see we put a fair bit of body filler on there. So we're gonna keep trying to get my finger out of the way without hitting the.
It's alright.
Okay. You gonna grab it?
How about I hold it?
Okay. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Okay. So yeah. So. Oh, you can smell it though. It's starting to go off. You smell it? Yeah.
Ew,
Okay.
It smells like
Okay.
chemicals.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of gross.
This is awesome, dude. This is chemistry.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, good little mix again. So this is the secret sauce, according to Cynthia, who I definitely trust. So my not doing what she suggests has nothing to do with trust. It has to do with being a crazy ADD, impatient, silly bastard. So
Ooh, that looks kinda
I'm
good.
really fortunate that I have lots of really talented people in my circle of friends that help me get through my own stupidity. So
Looks yummy.
yeah, it looks kind of like melted chocolate ice cream or like a malted ice cream
like
or something
iced
like that.
coffee, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, speaking of which, maybe that's what we'll get later on. We get
Yeah.
nice coffee. So you're 13. I'm not supposed to be feeding you coffee.
13's a
Is it okay? Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't Google this.
I don't know. It's my first time parenting with you and your sister, so I don't know. We're only 13 years into this stuff. We don't know what we're doing. Any parent who says they know what they're doing is lying.
I mean, if it's okay for me to have a Coke, then I guess.
Yeah, it's probably not okay. Honestly, I'm a science nerd, so I know that we gotta limit your caffeine intake. So if you're having a Coke now, you're probably not having a nice coffee later.
No.
Just FYI, bro. So you can save all that caffeine consumption for when you've got like midterms or finals or something like that, and you have to stay up all night. I don't know if I've mixed enough body filler in this. Cynthia will be sure to tell us in the comments, I'm sure. But anyways, you get the idea. I don't know. I think maybe I should have put more body filler in, but we'll see. I mean, honestly, the results looking pretty good. Now that we've got some form in the fabric, I'm feeling like a little more spurred on. Like I have a little bit more confidence here.
When this is
So,
done, I'm gonna touch it.
yeah.
It looks like plastic.
Yeah, so what we'll do, guys, is we're going to just put this on. I know this part's probably boring, just to see how terrible I am at doing this. I'm not acting like I care that much because, honestly, I don't really. Like, I just want to get this done, get a solid product finished. And then, like I said, my plan is to actually use some body filler to try and make it, look somewhat professional. Again, if I was doing this for money for somebody else, I would have done a whole bunch of test fit ups and, done some sample pieces just so I could be really certain about how things were going to turn out. I probably would actually ask Cynthia to come over and coach me on this. But I think sometimes, for me anyways, the fun is in experimenting. And I think certainly for Victor as well. He's kind of out here for the camera job, but even he's like super stoked about doing this kind of funky science project with his dad. So, whatever. If we don't do it perfect, it's not like we're going to end this experience not having learned a whole bunch of cool things, I think. And it's just like anything else, you've got to walk before you can run. So this is us learning to walk, doing this kind of stuff. And future projects will be kind of even cooler. Like, I didn't think I could do this. I was avoiding doing this because I thought I had to do fiberglass matting, and I hate working with that stuff.
I don't like the fiberglass because it looks like cotton candy, but also like, that's the stuff that you put in the roof, but like it looks like cotton candy, but if you get it on you, it's just like spikes into your skin.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
uncomfortable.
It is just like brutal, and it's brutal to sand it. So, the biggest thing was Cynthia sharing the sweatshirt hack with us. This was like $4 at Value Village. I hope the nerds amongst us have all noted that it was a Harry Potter shirt. That it was a Hogwarts shirt that gave up its life for us to do this project, which I think is kind of fun as well, because I'm a big Harry Potter and sci-fi and superhero fan. So I just think it's kind of fun that's that's what was on the sweatshirt we used for this project.
Look at this, Dad. I crushed my can.
Oh, nice.
So it's like a flower thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Just go put that
throw
away.
that in the recycling.
Yeah, I'll keep it here.
Okay. So
Do you still get deposit on crushed cans?
you definitely get deposit on crushed cans, but I think future episodes of D&D's Garage, we've got some tools to help us with handling molten metals. So I want to do some, and Yvonne,
maybe this could be an episode of all three of us.
once.
Metal too.
Yeah, so we'll probably do a melted aluminum. Okay, guys, I'm going to finish this off. I think there's been lots of rambling and stuff like that. We might do some editing to edit this down.
Yeah.
We'll bring you back when this coat of resin with body filler in it dries and see what the results look like. We'll go from there. Okay, talk to you again in just a we're back. So this has had time to cure after that mixture of Bondo into the fiberglass resin. This is a little, we might have to stick some epoxy under here, but not bad. So again, not a smooth surface. We're just going to chuck a whole bunch of body filler at it. So I thought I'd do this little segment of the video where we mix up some filler and apply it, and I think Victor is like dying to do this. So nothing special to do with body filler. I mean, follow the directions, unless you're me. You want to be a moron and just do whatever you feel like doing. Honestly, it's not that hard. I'm going to mix it fairly hot, meaning that it'll cure fast, because again, not very patient. So yeah, so you want enough hardener that mixed in that it will change the color of your filler. My one of my family members was in auto body for a long time. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's loud and traveling pretty fast up an alley because, you know, sometimes people don't care that it's an alley, like our one neighbor. So anyways, he was a body man for a long time, and so I have spent a good amount of time in body shops over my youth. So short version is you definitely want a minimum amount of hardener so that all of your filler changes color. That's why they dye the hardener. Okay, Vic, do you want to? We want to make it really smooth. Okay, so like we want to go for the areas that you're gonna see.
Take the chunkies out.
That's okay. Yeah. Oh yes. Okay.
It took quite a while for us to get it to dry this point.
Yeah.
Even so that I catch some bugs from the.
Okay, so we're gonna have a little bit of bug. So this is what we want to do. We don't just remember, the more we leave sticking up, the more we have to sand off. So really, we're just trying to fill in the low spots because we have some high spots where the cloth's wrinkled. Okay. Okay.
I want to try.
Okay, so just put a coat on there. I'll film you doing it.
All right.
Okay.
Do I just?
Yeah. So grab some more off the. Yeah.
Plate?
Yeah. Off the. Yeah. So you want to fill in that low spot. So just make sure your trowel runs across on either side of the valley. So you're pressing the filler into the low spot, and then you're not trying to reveal the low spot. Okay. So exactly the opposite. You were doing good at first. So yeah, start on the opposite. There you go. So now keep going and keep smoothing it along. The smoother it is, the less we have to sand. Okay. All right.
I don't know if I'm doing good.
You're doing it. That's all that matters. Okay.
If we
You want to do some over here?
Right there.
Okay. Yeah. So grab some more. You want to get a big dollop of it. Yeah. There you go.
Mix that in.
Yeah. So you want to get it filling in the low spots.
Hi.
All right.
It's been such a long process. I think this is probably going to be the one that took the longest.
Yeah. Well, the lower control arm bushings took us a lot of hours.
Yeah, it took us till like almost it was bedtime.
Yeah.
I had like a couple hours left.
Okay, I'm gonna take over from you, bud, and just before we run out of filler. Okay.
Smooth that in.
Okay.
So satisfying.
Yes, it is.
It's like putting like some clay on it and smoothing it.
So we want enough filler on here that we have something to sand. This part will be kind of exposed, so I want to pay a little bit of attention to it, because you might see that in the car. Along with this corner here. So I'm just going to force some into the imperfections.
There's a little bumpy right there.
Yeah. Well, the problem is we got a high spot right there, so might have to do a couple of coats of filler to fill in these valleys. And again, at the end of the day, that's just body work. Like, anybody who says you can do body work without filler is probably lying. There's plenty of guys on the internet that do this stuff for a living, and they'll tell you that the hallmark of really good body work is appropriate use of filler to make a smooth surface. So it's kind of the same here. We're not putting a glossy show car paint job on our kick panels, but we still want them to be fairly smooth looking on the areas that you're going to be easily able to see. So I want to just get this leading edge nicely sorted out and give us some material to work with, to sand into a nice shape, and then make it look halfway presentable. Plus,
we've got a little bit of recording time before my iPad dies.
All right.
So let's just get as much in as possible.
Okay, so we're gonna just fill in this groove there,
and
then after that we'll come back later, and
for like the third time.
Yeah, and we'll show you guys what the filler looks like, and won't bore you with the whole sanding process. We'll just show you a little bit of what that looks like. Okay? All right, guys. Talk to you again soon.
I got it set up so you can see.
How's it going there, Vic? Pretty good?
Pretty good, yeah. Like, it smoothens down very easily.
Okay. I'm just going to clamp this guy up. Get this back together. This stuff is probably 15 minutes to set up. It's probably 24 hours till full strength. That's pretty typical of these epoxies. So
basically, we'll have to take some pictures and put them in the video.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking we'll put them put the pictures in the video tomorrow. We'll also put some pictures on Instagram, D&D's Garage on Instagram, which feeds through to our Facebook page as well. We've got D&D's Garage on Facebook as well. The only thing we don't actually have yet is a D&D's Garage TikTok, and that's mostly because I'm a Gen Xer and I don't know how to use TikTok properly.
Well, I can definitely teach you.
Okay,
that's a lot of dust.
Yeah. So if we're gonna sand any more aggressively, Victor, we're gonna probably need to do some masks, some dust particle masks, just to make sure that we're protecting our lungs. But let's just take a look.
Do you have any in here?
We do, yeah. But let's just have a look here. Can I have a go at it? Do you want to grab the camera?
Yeah.
Let's have a. So this is 80 grit. This is just some leftover 80 grit that we had from another project. Again, the thing with body filler is the smoother you make it when you apply it, the less sanding you do. We were in a hurry today because we had a bunch of errands to do on top of doing these kick panels and filming everything. So I'm just going to get this profile here a little bit more to my liking. Being careful not to breathe too much dust. So we won't bore you guys with a whole video of us sanding, but basically we're going to sand down the high spots, get this looking the way we want it to look, and then we will may have to apply some more filler in some areas. Just want to get a kind of a nice smooth finished look. The paint is going to be semi-gloss, so it's going to show imperfections, so we actually do have to put some effort into this stage of it. So I'll keep sanding, and then I think we'll probably come back.
Yeah. Progress so far. I say it looks pretty good. Like, as you can see, compared to that one, it's much lighter.
Yeah.
And we busted our gloves by sanding them down.
Yeah.
At least now I can actually use the touch screen on it. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. Like, Dad did a pretty good job on it.
Thanks, Vic.
And yeah, I say, like, if we keep it up, we can probably make the other one look
Just as good?
Yeah, just as good.
I sure hope so. We're gonna have to glue this edge like we did that one.
Yeah, there is some like little spaces, well, like here, where if we sand it, it's gonna go to the sweatshirt, so we're gonna have to put more body filler there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But
So we'll get.
Otherwise, it's going good.
Just lots of sanding.
So that was just a checkup, and we'll get to you later.
We're back. It's actually the next day. Yesterday, Victor and I sanded this one by hand with 80 grit. We tried the only 60 grit that I had. That did not work out well. So we're back on hand sanding with 80 grit. It was taking a long time, but the result is pretty good. So we've got a few low spots that we're going to have to add filler to today. And then probably do final sand and put some primer on it, see what it looks like. So as I was mentioning earlier, I did not explicitly make sure that we had adhered the edge of the material in all spots, and the fiberglass resin didn't seep through and actually automatically stick this to here. Probably if I had asked my friend Cynthia about that, there would have been some comments. I'm pretty sure Cynthia actually advised me to see if I could wrap things and use stapler, but my electric stapler didn't have enough jam to go through here, so I kind of just did my own thing. Anyways, it's working not bad. Just mixed the 2-part epoxy, clamped it, we're good to go. Did the same thing on this one. Now this one, I was starting to get a little impatient because we spent a lot of time on that other kick panel. It was like 2 hours, so I knew what the result was going to be, but I just needed to get through this a little bit quicker because I wanted to make a decent video and get this all wrapped up for you guys and get this posted. So I used the flap disc on the angle grinder, which removes a lot of material really quickly, but there's dust everywhere, and I'm going to be cleaning that for about the next 2 weeks probably. So anyways, I wanted to do that to get us to the point here where we could just add some filler to the remaining low spots on this one. I wiped these down, not that you can tell, I wiped these down with 99% alcohol. Some guys use wax and grease remover, which is really good. I just don't have any. That's what body shops do. So we're going to just mix some filler and apply it in these spots here, just to make this smooth. And then off camera, we'll do the other one. So what I'll do is I'll mix some filler. We'll put it in here. So same old, same old. I'm pretty, I don't know, not super technical when it comes to mixing the filler. I've done a fair bit of filler work in the past, so like I said, my family member worked at body shops growing up, so I ended up doing filler work and undercoating cars, mostly undercoating cars for the first little while, because when you're young, nobody trusts you to do any of the important jobs, which is fair enough. You don't have a lot of skills. So I did filler later on in life, but you know, being a car guy, lifelong car guy, I've done experimented with lots of stuff because I never had any money to pay anybody else to do this stuff, and I like experimenting, to be honest with you. So I'm using my plastic knife. I have some nice, inexpensive spreaders somewhere that you can buy usually for a 3-pack at the dollar store. But I actually like this spatula. I've had this spatula, like, I think 25 years, to be honest with you. So what I like to do is just force it in there really good, like now that we're at this point. And if I squeeze really hard with the edge of the blade across, I'll start to see a low spot. So then I'll come back and just bridge it across. So this time we're really looking for minor filling, and we're not going to leave too much extra filler around. Okay, you don't really want to put dust in there or tuna, bro. So Victor was putting dust in there, but we actually don't want to do that because that will affect the adhesion of the filler. So you can see we're keeping it pretty light. So nothing, I don't have much to say technically on this. This is just be careful, be patient, and remember, the more filler you put on, the more you're going to have to sand off. And if you get really impatient, you're going to have to deal with a lot of dust. So just nice and light and smooth. See how I spot there. Okay, I think we're good. I think that's filled those ones. Sometimes you'll get little air bubbles too. So you want to go through, and then I just force this in there. Really good. So yeah, it's going to fill those. And then we got some imperfections here. This area is such an ass to sand. I tried a socket, wrapped around some sandpaper, tried all kinds of different things to get in here. Ultimately, just had to keep going at it with my hands. So this one will get a little bit overfilled too, because I probably should have a smaller tool to put the filler in, but I don't have one. So I just want, it doesn't have to be show car perfect. You're not even going to see this. This part's actually going to be completely under the dash, but I'll know it's there. And I'm not, again, like I told you guys, I'm not trying to be a super perfectionist, but I am also putting this out for the world to see potentially on YouTube, so I don't want to be just a total hack, even though this is my first time doing this. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. I think we actually will fill the other one.
Ooh, that was good.
Right? So yeah. So, and I mixed it pretty hot. I think you guys saw, like, this is very pink. So I've got a very short working time. But I did that on purpose because this isn't structural or anything like that. And it's only going to have, like, interior paint over top of it. So if it's got a lot of shrinkage and stuff, we're filling small voids right now. It's not going to matter, honestly, very much at all. And I just want to get this done and handled. So you see there's some dust in there. So you can see it's still white, so we're going to have to mess around in that void and get some filler to stick in there. Otherwise when we sand it, it'll just come back. So, okay. So you can see a little bit of a void. There we go. It's not bad. Sorry, Vic, I know you probably wanted to do some of this, but I think this is a really fine work, and I don't want us to have 6 hours of sanding this time around. There'll be plenty of opportunity. Still have to do quarter panels on this car. Well, lower quarters and rocker panels, so there will be plenty of time to apply filler and sand on this car. She is a rusty old girl. If I knew how rusty it was, I might have got checked and eventually bought a second car. But when I got this guy, I was able to trade our race car for it, and this was my family friend's car forever, and he loved it so much and missed it so much that he actually just finally went and bought another dart as well. So we clearly have the same fixation on these beautiful cars. Anyways, this old girl had been road hard and put away wet a lot of times, and she is pretty rusty underneath. So a lot of the floor pan modifications I made to fit modern seats and modern transmission and stuff was actually helpful, because we had to replace a fair bit of the floor. I've got patches in on the torsion bar cross member, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, this is definitely a labor of love. If you wanted to have the easier project, or the project that was going to be the quicker path to being perfect, this probably wouldn't have been the car for that. But it was the car that I knew and really loved, and my buddy wanted to do a trade with my race car, so everything worked out in the end, and he's actually back into having a dart again anyways. So that's kind of cool. It'll be fun to visit with each other and hang out and drive our 68 darts. Okay, I don't know what to do with that area, because I don't think we're going to get that.
Yeah, I think that might be a bit difficult.
Yeah, that one's going to be a bit of a pain in the ass. So we could experiment here, see about that. I don't know. I think that's it.
Yeah, I think
okay.
that looks good.
Okay, so we'll bring you guys back when this is dry, and we'll have a go at sanding it. Okay? We're back. Just did a bunch of sanding here, and I've got it about 99%, to be honest with you. I just cleaned it with some 99% isopropyl. You can see these little low spots, and we could keep chasing that. Like I said, could be pulling these out of the car in a year and redoing them. I think that's going to get us close enough to get to primer. I just started hitting it with some 100 grit. Might hit it again with some 200 grit, and then some primer, and then some interior paint, and we'll show you all of that. We'll show you the finished product. Right now, I managed to cut one of our mounting screws off with a hacksaw, but I can't really reach this one very well, so I'm going to use the cut-off tool. So we're just going to cut the mic for a second, and I'll do some cutting and put my ear protection on. And here we go. Okay, so exactly what I feared would happen with the cutoff wheel, that it got the screw too hot, and so it's melting the plastic. So I'll probably finish cutting it off, and then I'll come back and throw some epoxy on this, and we won't be using the cutoff wheel for the next one. Okay, we're going to try the air body saw next, and this is really noisy, so we'll cut the audio for this as well. Okay, back to the hacksaw. I removed the clamps here, and I think that's what we're going to do now. Back. The pop rivets actually are the perfect size for the all-round. Little fun fact, make sure that the drill bit doesn't catch the strapping, or you'll spend 15 minutes at the vise like I just did, straightening everything out or deciding if you're going to use a new piece of all-round. So anyways, we got it all put back together. Picture here for the twisted up all-round being straightened out, and looks like the pop rivet was certainly the right way to go in the first place, which is pretty much the way it usually goes for me. I call it post-engineering. So basically decide you're going to go a direction, and then do that direction, and then go back and do it a completely different way at the end. That turns out to be the much better way. Okay, so there we go. So that's the pop rivet in place, so that's nice and solid there. So I won't bore you with watching me do the other one, plus I might, screw up and get the drill bit caught in the strap and twist it around, so I don't really want that on camera. Anyways, we'll bring you back after I've got both kick panels pop riveted. Just wanted to show the process in case anybody is silly enough to take this as a tutorial or take inspiration from this to do your own kick panels. Okay? Thanks. We'll be right back. So I've got the pop rivets completed right now. Much better idea. And like I said, this is kind of like what I say, post-engineering on my projects. I do it all the time. I've just learned to accept it. I don't get frustrated anymore. So we're going to take out back and blow off the dust, and then we're going to primer them, and we're also going to do the fabric paint. I wanted to give a shout out to 65 Ford on YouTube for this really great idea for a paint shaker. So basically you just take some pipe that will fit your spray can with a rag in it into the pipe. Have to wrap this. I was trying to do it really fast because I was on camera, blah, 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 blah. So anyways, just take a piece of cloth, wrap your can. That's so that your can stays
nice
in the pipe. Oh, that's
not working.
Yeah, We're gonna do one more time, guys. You know what? Sometimes there's blooper reels, but sometimes there's just like what actually happens. And so this is what actually happens when you're in a hurry. Okay, let's give it one more try. I think. There. She's about. There we go. Okay. You just basically don't want it to fly out. So what this is a piece of. This is actually some PVC gas pipe and an expansion plug for plumbing, 3-inch expansion plug. So 3-inch pipe, 3-inch expansion plug. I took a 3/8 carriage bolt and put it through it to expand the plug into the pipe. And then you definitely want to hold this guy with 2 hands. Use your best drill, and you can hear that sound as the ball spinning around in the can, and that is perfectly mixed. So one of the seriously one of the best little tips and tricks out of YouTube, and it cost me almost nothing. We just did a hot water heater, so we had a chunk of pipe. You could use any 3-inch pipe that's like plumbing pipe or something like that would be suitable, and this plug, and I bet you I have like $25 into the whole thing, and never have to spend my time shaking paint cans. So why didn't I show you this earlier? I know. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my god, that's the best thing ever. Okay, so we'll cut for a second, and we'll move everything outside, and we'll bring you back. Okay, so several hours later, now we have primer. So we did the shaker a la 65 Ford on YouTube. Did I plug him enough times? I hope so. So we'll see how this looks and then decide if we're going to press forward with painting or if we're going to sand some more. Like I said, you can definitely chase this as far as you want, depending on your personal taste. For me, what really matters is that it's not an obvious unsanded mess that I would be super unhappy about. So
it looks great.
Yeah, I can see some imperfections here, so we may come back and hit it with some 200 grit or something like that just to smooth it out. Victor, you want to try doing a little bit of spraying on this? So, sorry about that, guys.
Great.
All right, Victor's gonna have a go.
Just make sure my cord doesn't get spray painted.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
So a little bit closer.
So big like that?
Yeah. Yeah, you keep dropping on your stroke, so try and keep an even distance from it. Yeah. Yeah, perfect. Keep going. Yeah, so you can see some of those imperfections on the top side here, so definitely that's probably where I dug a little deep with the flap disc, and I couldn't really feel it when I was, yeah, make sure you get that front edge, bud. Yeah, we're going to see that, and that's going to be painted, so. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Hang on, there we go. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Is it okay if that gets sprayed?
Yeah, oh yeah, totally fine. Yep. So yeah.
Wait, that part was already primed, but
that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. We can put more primer on it. So this side here, the cloth didn't stay a nice smooth, in a nice smooth shape. So anytime you get, okay, yeah, don't go too heavy with that, bud.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I think that's pretty good for me.
Yeah, let me just check here. So anytime you get the wet paint on here, you'll really see how you're doing. For me, again, the area that we're going to see all the time, I want it to look really good. Now, bear in mind, guys, I know that you can go on eBay and you can order speaker kick panels for like $300 or $400 US. In Canada, that's going to be like a $500 bill by the time you get them. Maybe there's cheaper ones. The whole point of this exercise isn't just about trying to do things for less expense. It's about trying to learn how to do things. Like I said, never actually done this type of a project before, so I feel like it's worthwhile, and Victor's really enjoying it. So might be passing on some skills to him that'll be useful to him later on. So we'll let these dry, then we'll bring you back, and we'll see if we're going to sand a bunch more, or if I'm just going to chuck them in this way for now just to get speakers mounted, because we have tons more stuff to do on the car. And we'll go from there. Okay. Okay, so we're back. Sprayed the primer on these to have a closer look. So we still got a few imperfections here, but I think at this point we're just going to call it good and get them in the car. This one here where I hit it with the flap disc, we've got lots more work that'll actually need to be done on that later. pretty sure a few of you will be nodding your head right now when I say it was a real mistake for me to prime that with all those marks there, because of course primer's really sticky and gums up the sandpaper, and I feel like I already knew this, but you know, gotta learn the lesson a few more times. Anyways, for now we're just gonna paint them, get them in the car. We have like a bunch of stuff that we need to get done. We've got to do a wheel alignment, we've got to work on some exhaust stuff just to get the car running for the summer. So this will have to be good enough for now, but we'll revisit it. We put a lot of energy into it to not have it be a little bit nicer finished product. But anyways, so right now we're going to do some spraying. So I just use the Duplicolor Vinyl and Fabric paint for anything that goes in the interior, because it's got adhesion promoter. It works really good on dash pads and door panels and even carpet as well. So we're just going to give her a little spray here, see how she goes. Yeah, so we'll do some nice light coats. We're going to do all of the no-nos, including painting in direct sunlight, just because we actually want it to dry fast. So this is a fairly glossy finish, so it will show up all of those imperfections. So it'll be a good reminder every time I see it that I need to come back and redo a lot of this work, because I don't want to continue to see it suck. Let's do the other one off camera, if you don't mind, just because I can get this whole thing done, and I just want to show everybody what it looks like, especially even with the paint still wet, like warts and all. This wasn't a huge amount of work. It was a lot of work to shoot and do the work and, you know, run our household this weekend. But at the end of the day, as my stepdad used to say, a blind man wouldn't see it on a dark night. That's deliberately funny. So here, let's just take a quick look. So that's the driver's side kick panel.
Ooh, looks good.
Yeah. So, you know, again, not perfect. You can see lots of sanding scratches. In a perfect world, we'd finish it out to probably about 240 grit before we hit it with the paint. Maybe even finer if you want it to look perfect. But honestly, that's not bad. And it's definitely better than what was in the car, which was the factory black ones that don't have speaker holes in them, and we couldn't put a decent sized speaker in. Now we can. So I'll put some pictures on Instagram later on of these installed. And for now, thanks a lot for watching D&D's Garage. Have a great day.